Welcome to the new OPTANO web client. If you've worked with OPTANO before, you'll notice that it looks rather different. But don't worry, you'll find your way around very quickly. Today, we'd like to show you the new design and how to navigate the system. To do this, we want to use the example of the traveling salesman problem. If you're not sure what this is, then we've prepared a short video to explain it. Welcome back! First of all, we're going to click on the Traveling Salesman here in the module view, and then in the Scenario Manager, which, as the name implies, is where all the scenarios are managed. A scenario contains all the data for a specific version of a problem. For example, in the Traveling Salesman scenario, you can change the combination of the locations. Rich client users will be familiar with the structure of the files, workspaces and scenarios here. You don't have to readapt to anything. So let's open the Traveling Salesman file. And here we can see the scenarios in the workspace. And of course we have a scenario which we prepared earlier, and so let's open that. As you can see, there are only two tables right now, locations and distances. Even though calculating the traveling salesman is fairly complex, you don't actually need a lot of data for it. Notice that there isn't any data in the scenario yet. This needs to be uploaded first. Here, more than one user can access the scenario at the same time without causing any data inconsistency. And then we can enter the data from Excel, for example. We're using very little data for today's demonstration, of course. However, we've designed the application so that it can also handle very large data volumes easily. The data has now been loaded, and then there is a second table with the distances, which of course form the basis for the optimization. In our demonstration, we're using the most direct route, as the crow flies, so to speak. In real life, we would naturally use a real distance. After this, we simply click Optimize and can view the optimal route for our example in the results. The optimization in the example is one-dimensional. The objective is to find the shortest route in total. In a real-life application, we could add other objectives, such as the shortest journey time under real traffic conditions. We could also look at restrictions, like how to avoid toll roads. There are no limits to the objectives or restrictions you want to consider. Now you've seen how easy it is to find your way around the new interface. When we started developing the web client, one of the goals we clearly defined was user-friendliness. And we'll continue to work on this in later versions, because we want to ensure that working with OPTANO is as easy and enjoyable for you as possible.
As we've seen in the traveling salesman example, planning with the OPTANO web client is relatively easy. To make all this possible, our developers have done a lot of work. Sitting next to me is one of them. Hi Alex, good to have you here.
Hi Mike, thanks for having me.
The most prominent feature of OPTANO 6.0 is the new web client. What was the reason for its development?
Actually, there were several reasons for its development. On the one hand, we had many customers asking us, do you have a web client? So this was in high demand. On the other hand, we wanted to improve the user friendliness and make it easier to access OPTANO.
We still offer the rich client as well. Why do we have both?
The rich client is extremely powerful, especially in terms of computing power. It has been developed for several years now and has a lot more features. So in a way, it's still the backbone of the OPTANO platform. The web client in its current form is more an additional enhancement which allows you to access your projects from anywhere. In the future, we will see more and more features from the rich client coming to the web client. Of course, the web client also allows you easy installation, updating and maintenance.
If we talk about user friendliness, design is an important factor. So let's talk about design for a bit.
We wanted to give the web client a clean and modern look, and I think we succeeded with this. Customization was also a very important topic for us.
The design we saw in the clip is called the dark theme, right?
Actually, it is a mixture between light and dark. The content area is kept in lighter colors to improve readability. Most people still prefer light themes nowadays.
To guarantee the best user experience, you work with design specialists. Well, tell me about that.
For design questions in particular, it's good to have experts at hand. Of course, we also have people on the team with a focus on that. But to ensure the best outcome, we worked with the UI specialists from Maximago, even long before we started the actual development.
You mentioned user friendliness before.
You are right. User friendliness was just as important to us as the design. We saw in the video how well the user was guided through the interface.
If I would give you one adjective to describe the benefit of the new web client, what would that be?
I would say flexibility. It's flexibility for the users because they can work from almost anywhere. It's flexibility for the IT departments because they can handle updates and maintenance in one central place. And it's flexibility of customization. The web client can easily be themed and adapted to your needs.
One last question. What's your favorite design theme?
Although I'm a developer, I'm actually a huge fan of the light theme, but perhaps don't tell my colleagues.
Thank you, Alex, for being our guest today.
It was a pleasure. I hope that the users will have as much fun working with OPTANO 6 as we had developing it.